Perhaps you're lining up for your first marathon in a little while and you've just inundated yourself with information about how to get prepared for the race day. There's a lot that goes into it, but one thing that a lot of us forget to look into is a number of the worst things that we can do in preparation for marathon race day. Today, I want to share with you 5 of the biggest mistakes that you need to avoid, regardless of whether it's your first marathon or your 51st. The first thing we want to look at is nutrition. The reason nutrition is so important is because obviously the fuel that we feed our body dictates how effectively we get through the course come race day. It's not only relevant to our race, it's also relevant to our training. Now, the beauty with that is we should have plenty of time in the month leading up to marathon race day to practice fueling correctly. One thing you definitely do not want to do within 24 hours of getting to your race is try something new. Get excited and think, oh, I haven't tried this in the lead up, but this looks as though it could be a good option to fuel me for my marathon. One of the main reasons we avoid this is because you do not know exactly how your body is going to respond to that particular fuel source. One of the beauties of having such a long period in the lead up to running a marathon is we get to practice how to fuel our body effectively with the carbohydrates and other foods and minerals that it needs to function effectively. You don't want to get to race day and have a look at all the sponsors and all the different options for food that are there and treat it as though it's like a food sampling party, because that can leave you fatigued, full, or just feeling really uncomfortable halfway through the race. Go to your race with a particular plan as to what it is you need to eat before the race and what it is you're going to eat within the race, and make it a rule that you're not going to try anything new until you get across that finish line. All right, the second thing we want to look at is hydration. One of the biggest mistakes that brand new marathon runners make is they think, okay, tomorrow I'm running 26.2 miles, I'm running 42 kilometers, I need to make sure I drink heaps of water. While that sounds like a really good thing, overhydrating is as much of a problem as underhydrating, because going to the toilet every 20 minutes actually starts to flush our system from all the electrolytes. What I'd encourage you to do through your training process is navigate what works specifically to help you stay hydrated. One of the best measurements for this is Precision Fuel and Hydration's free sweat test, which I've linked in the description below. These guys look at the style of sweater you are, the volume of sweat that you do sweat when you run, and as a result, help navigate what it is that you're losing specifically when you sweat. The beauty with this is it helps you make sure you're replacing the salts, the electrolytes that you're losing when you sweat, rather than just the fluid that's in water. When you get to race day, there's going to be so many different styles of drinks, so many different options, so many different exciting looking things. You need to make a deal that you stick with your hydration plan going into your marathon race. Make sure you've got a hydration plan going into your marathon race. The last thing you need to do is try something new on race day. So with hydration, make sure you're replacing what you're actually losing, not just overhydrating on water. And race day comes, there is nothing new, remember, until we get across that finish line. The third thing we want to look at is travel time. I would encourage you, if possible, stay within walking distance of the race start line. One of the most frustrating things with marathon running is because so many of the events start quite early, if you have to navigate a couple of hours worth of travel time, not only does it mean you have to get out of bed earlier, it means you've got more to think about on race day. I like to have everything packed in a bag the night before, and then when I wake up, just know I can have a shower, I can get changed, I pick up my bag and everything I need is there. I can wander down to the start line. Don't leave yourself exposed to things like roadworks and travel time and breakdowns and things like that in the car, because it just adds an unnecessary layer of stress. So if you've got the option, make sure you book some accommodation really close to the race start line, so when your alarm goes off, you can get up, get changed, have some brekkie, and wander across to the start line to get yourself ready for your big day. The fourth thing you want to focus on is your clothing and your running shoes. There is absolutely nothing new, remember, that we try on race morning. Everything that you wear on marathon race day should be tried and tested. You want to make sure that you're rocking up with that stress eliminated from your mind. You don't want to be thinking, I hope these shoes are okay, I hope this singlet's okay, I hope I'm comfortable. Let's have as many questions as we possibly can answered before the day, because there's going to be enough asked of you when you're halfway, 3/4 of the way through your actual marathon. Make sure you've got yourself some clothes that you trust, that you love, that you're comfortable in, so that when you're standing there, that is not even a thought in your mind. You're just ready to go because you know you've tried them, you've tested them, and they're comfortable. The last thing that you want to be really focused on is knowing what pace that you should run when you start. In a big city marathon, the atmosphere is often electrifying. It's exciting. There's so many people around. There's a buzz in the air. And as a result, people get excited and run so much faster for those first couple of miles than they ever should have run. As a result, you can quickly fatigue yourself, which is a really intimidating prospect when you've still got 40 kilometers left to run. I would encourage you to know, what time are you trying to run on race day? If you're trying to run a particular time, even give yourself a little bit of wiggle room, 5 or 10 seconds either side of that, but don't get caught up running 30, 40, 50 seconds faster for the first kilometer than what you're supposed to be doing. It can just leave you overexposed to fatigue at a much earlier time in the race. They're just 5 of the biggest mistakes that I see as someone who's been around the distance running world for a very long time. If you've got anything that you think I've missed, anything else that you think is a common mistake, please let us know in the comments below. If you're not a part of our training hub yet, the training hub is where you'll get access to a whole heap of bonus content from elite athletes and coaches. More than that, you'll get access to our training programs and a specific coaching thread with me in regards to all of your training. It's only $5 US a month. I've linked that in the description below. Guys, I hope that was helpful. If it was, make sure you like it. Make sure you hit subscribe, because I've got new videos coming out on all things distance running each and every week.